Hello and welcome to my channel. How are you doing today? My name is Lynn and today I am going to create an interactive memory dex card using a couple of dies from Handcrafted Designs. I actually picked these up during Black Friday last year and this is only the second time I'm crafting with it. In fact, I live streamed earlier today and that was the first time I crafted with it, and I thought I would actually film a proper tutorial video for how to put this together, especially since during the live stream I did make quite a few mistakes, so I'll try to avoid all of those mistakes in this tutorial video. I'm starting off with the slide portion, and that's the one with the disc that has all of the stars cut out of it. I've die cut that twice out of white, and I die cut, just using a circle die from my stash, a layer of black cardstock as close to the same size. It's just a smidge larger, which I think actually works really well. But you could go a smidge smaller or exactly the same if you have it. And then my second piece I am going to attach to the back of that black layer. I did transfer the hole in the center so that I could punch that out of my black cardstock as well. And then I was careful to line up that hole on the back. So that hole will go through all three layers. And again, I transferred the hole to the center of this smaller circle. Now there is a die in the die set that has the viewfinder disc that will cut out the smaller circle, and it fits perfectly in the center there. So when this is all assembled, it's going to look like a little bit of a throwback to the viewfinder toy that I remember having so much fun playing with as a kid. And that's why I've been keeping an eye on this die set for a while now. I was waiting for a sale, and Black Friday came and there was a great sale at Handcrafted Designs. She's got actually quite a few different styles of discs that you can get. I have two. I have the hearts and I have this one, the stars, but there are several others. So, once you have the base, you can really pick up different add-on sets and mix and match between them all. Then there's also a separate die that cuts out these stars, and what's fabulous is that the stars are the exact same size and shape so that you can inlay into the disc, the larger disc, but it also at the same time cuts out the border. So you can decorate either way. You can either inlay the solid star into those openings, or you can use the outline of the star and decorate the outside of those apertures on the disc. I thought it would be fun, since I want this to be interactive, to write out a little message inside those little stars. So there's enough space for you to write out "Happy B-Day" with an exclamation point. And the where there should be a space in between the words, that's where I'm inlaying the silver glitter stars. And I did end up writing this out on the front and the back, because the first time I wrote it out, it was on the back side of this wheel. And so I had to flip it over and write it on the correct side. And what I consider the correct side is the side that the die cuts into, because it gives you that really nice, smooth, professional edge. So the white layer, they both have that smooth professional edge facing outwards, but the black layer of cardstock, that's only one layer of cardstock, so only one side has the professional side. Now, what I've just done here is just sandwich a small circle, the disc, the viewfinder disc, and then another small circle. And that allows the wheel portion, the viewfinder disc portion, to spin freely. And it has the two smaller circles on both the front and the back, and that's going to allow me to attach the wheel to the viewfinder base, the front and the back of the viewfinder base. And that's what I am working on here. There's a couple of different dice that you can use to also decorate that viewfinder area. You can make really fun shaker cards from that. You can use, again, different pattern papers. You could even get creative and maybe create a little scene inside those two viewing areas. So I think there's a lot of room for creativity and to create something really fun there. I'm going for actually trying to replicate the look of the classic toy. So that's why I've kept it really plain and simple. And it's also the reason why I wanted to make this interactive, because it is so plain and simple otherwise. And when you go to attach this to the wheel to the viewfinder base, all you need to do is put a little bit of foam right just on that smaller circle on both the front and the back. And that way the middle portion, that the viewfinder disc, it's still free to rotate because it's actually not glued down anywhere at all. Where we're putting foam, that's just on the little circle die cut. And so I'm being careful just to make sure that I'm staying within the smaller circle. And once I've got foam on both sides, and having the foam is also important as opposed to just using a liquid adhesive, because it'll give, first off, the head of the brad is a little bit dimensional. So you just want to make sure that if this gets crushed, especially if you have to mail it, if it does get crushed through shipping with a lot of things on top of it, you don't want that brad to poke through the front of your viewfinder. So that foam gives it some extra dimension just to protect that. And as well, it gives it a little bit of space so that your wheel can have the space to spin freely. And when I go to attach this to the base of the viewfinder, what I'm looking to do is cover the smaller disc as much as possible. But as well, I want to make sure that the disc is completely covered by the front of the viewfinder. So I don't want it to be visible on either side and at the bottom, especially where the two holes are die cut for your memory dex holder. Especially if you do want this to be functional and to actually put it into a memory dex holder, you don't want to block the opening down there. Then the next thing to do is I will double up on some foam, because recall there's a little bit of foam on the front. There's quite a few layers of cardstock, and then there's more foam on the back. So I'm using a slightly thicker foam than what I used on the two small discs that are attached to my viewfinder slider, or the disc. And on top of that, I've doubled it up. So what you're aiming to do is essentially stack as much foam as you need to match or be just a little bit thicker than all of the layers that you have in between the front red piece and the back red piece. That way nothing is pinching down too tightly, and your viewfinder disc can freely move. Because if you used just maybe one layer of foam, what would happen is that you would sort of create a very pinched or a very tight space, a tight pocket, and the viewfinder disc might not spin quite as smoothly because it's sort of being held down tightly on all sides. So that's the goal behind how much foam you want to use. And you only want to apply foam around your disc, being careful not to obstruct its ability to spin. So there's not a lot of space, and that's why you see me occasionally spin my wheel, just to make sure that as I'm putting down each piece of foam that I haven't placed it too closely, and that my disc can still spin freely. And so you might need to trim your foam down a little bit. Most of my foam is in sheets, so it's really easy to cut it down to exactly the width that I need. And some of my foam is a little bit old, and so if you're working with foam that might be a little bit older, it's still good, but if you feel like it might have lost a little bit of its tackiness, all you need to do is just dot on a little bit of liquid adhesive. And in any case, you might want to do that even if you have brand new foam, because with an interactive card, it's good to make sure that everything has a nice, firm, permanent stick. And liquid adhesive will definitely give that to you, because this might be the sort of thing that somebody might want to keep and just kind of play with, because it is really cute and it is interactive. So all I've done is just line up the back piece with the front. I'm going to give it a really nice burnish. And here you can see it's really easy to spin this. And I've made this assuming that the person getting it is going to be right-handed. And that way, when they spin it, it will reveal the sentiment Happy B-Day. And then I've got these extra star die cuts, and I wanted to find a way to use it. And so I decided, you saw me try it out on the front, but I want to keep the front very classic looking. So what I'm going to do is actually use them on the back. And with frames, I like the idea of just linking or chaining them together like this. So if you want to ever do that with any kind of frames, all you need to do is just snip into one of them, and then you can slide one into the other, and it creates that look that appears like they are linked together. And so then I found another die set. This is actually from one of the Spellbinders large Die of the Month club kits. And it's a really nice deboss sentiment plate that says Happy Birthday. And I thought it was nice because it almost feels like it's a bit of metal that's been embossed or that's been debossed, and so it almost seems like it could be something that was part of the toy itself. So I thought that would be kind of cute, and then adding some of the leftover star frames that I had as just additional little accents on the back. So once I get these down, that's going to basically complete my Memory Decks card. If you want to catch the live stream where I made just a lot of, first timer mistakes, you can catch Crafty Fun with Friends episode 10. I crafted with my crafty friend Von Marie Designs. She has a YouTube channel here on as well, so feel free to check out the replay there. Check out Von Marie's YouTube channel as well, and I will of course leave links to everything I used in the description box below. Also, I do run a Facebook group called Crafty Fun with Friends of LV Handcrafted, and this month, March 2023, we do have a Memory Decks card swap event in our group. So if you are interested, feel free to join my group. It is a private group, so you do have to join. But once you do, you'll see all the details about the Memory Decks swap, and I hope you'll join that event, because I think it'll be a lot of fun to see what else everybody makes. Thanks again for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.